Let's talk about text. In this tutorial, we'll start with the basics of working with text. To begin with, I will use Microsoft Word, and we will see how we can work with text in a proper way. When we have some text in a word processor such as Word, in order to indent lines, we need to have this ruler turned on. On the View tab we can turn it on. I'll go back to the Home tab. I'm going to select the entire text, and by simply dragging this indent marker, I indent the first line. I move it as far as I want all my lines to be indented in the paragraph. So, instead of typing space for each paragraph, we will use indent markers. We can indent all other lines as well. By clicking on this rectangle here, left indent marker, we can drag all the rows to one side, as much as we need. If we click only the lower triangle, hanging indent marker, we will indent all other lines, and if we indent only the upper triangle, we will indent only the first lines of these paragraphs. Where else can we use ruler and tabs? When, for example, creating some lists and entering some values. Let's say we have a list where we need to add some values in the extension, so instead of typing dots on the keyboard and entering some values, like this, we want all our lines to have the same width, and that these numbers, that is, values, align on the right side. We're going to do that by selecting all of these items in our list, and then in the paragraph option, we're going to click on this icon here. We will select the tabs option. Let's say we want to be somewhere on the number 6 position, we will set the alignment to the right. We want dots to appear. We enter the number 6. OK, we'll go back here to the second option and click OK. Nothing happened at the moment, but when I hit Tab on the keyboard, I got automatically drawn lines, and my text aligns the way I actually wanted it to. If I select this entire list, I will see that the right tab has appeared on number 6, which when I drag left or right, I can determine the width to which the text will be arranged. So, this is the basis of working with tabs, that is, indenting lines using a ruler in a word processor such as, for example, MS Word. Now we will move on to a more serious tool. Okay, if we want to work with text in slightly more advanced and serious programs like InDesign, we will use the same text, and in the Properties panel we can find tools for working with text. The Properties panel is located in the window, Properties drop-down menu. What we need to do is to select our text with the Type tool, and then in the Paragraph section find the option to indent the first line. Let's say it's about 7 millimeters. We can also indent all rows, but in the 7 mm option it stays indented. And when I reset the values to 0, we have the entire width of the column. It is therefore the simplest way how we can indent the lines of all the paragraphs we have in our document, so that all lines are indented so that they have the same position. Another way is by using Tab. Go to the Type drop-down menu, and turn on the tabs option. As you can see, a ruler similar to the one in Word appeared, and then we need to click on this upper triangle, first line indent marker. It's highlighted in blue. Select the X option, type 7 mm, and all the lines are indented by 7 mm, which we can see here. Of course, we can drag as much as we want to indent those lines, and if we drag this lower triangle, hanging indent marker, we will indent the other lines as well. If we move this triangle back, you'll see that all but the first lines in the paragraph are indented. This is one of the ways we can work with tabs, that is, how we can indent lines. Note that this method requires a little more precision. What about enumeration? Let's say we have the same situation as a while ago. We select the text, then here on the ruler in the tabs option, we choose right alignment. Then we click anywhere on this bar above the ruler, and type a dot in the leader option. Place the cursor at the end of the line, press Tab on the keyboard, type the value, and the principle is the same. As you can see, the rows are perfectly aligned to the right. If we zoom out a bit on the document, we will see the entire width of our column in this ruler, or we can simply extend it and place it the way we want our list or content to look. Every serious program that has the ability to work with text, even programs that are not primarily intended to work with a large amount of text, have options for editing it, so we can edit text directly in Illustrator. The principle is more or less the same as in InDesign, as well as in Word in general. So we select the paragraph text. On the Properties tab in the Paragraph section, we click on Additional Options, and here we have the option to indent lines. Thus, we can indent the first line as much as we need, by entering some value. However, we can also use the ruler, i.e. the tabs option. In the window drop-down menu, go all the way down to the Type option, and then click Tabs. A ruler will appear that is almost the same as in InDesign. We select this upper triangle, first line indent marker, which is a little problematic to catch, but when we selected it, it is marked in blue, and we enter the values we want, that is, how much we want our lines to be indented. Similarly, by dragging the lower one, hanging indent marker, we can indent all other lines, and so on. We just need to be a little more precise when using the tab option, when selecting and indenting rows. We can, when selecting tab, type how much we want the lines to be indented. The principle is therefore the same as in InDesign. When we have a tax listing, or let's say we want to create some content, or let's say we create a menu with the prices of some dishes or drinks for a restaurant, so we want it to be more transparent, the principle is the same. We select the right tab, choose anywhere on the ruler where we want it to be and type a point in the leader option. When we press tab on the keyboard, we enter the values we want and everything is in line. When we select the entire text, by moving this right tab, we simply adjust the width of the items. Let's see how it all works in CorelDRAW now. When we have paragraph text, the principle is more or less the same. First, we select the entire text, with the difference being that the tab appears on the ruler, so compared to Illustrator, the situation is a bit clearer. So if we drag the first line indent marker, we do it like this. To indent other lines, use the hanging indent marker, or to drag all lines to the desired side, use the left indent marker. So, on the right side, we have the same option for indentation, that is, defining the width of the text within the paragraph. We can do all that in Docker Properties. We select the window drop-down menu, Dockers, the Properties option. The Properties panel will open, and then in the Paragraph option we simply have options that resemble and are similar to what we've already seen in InDesign and Illustrator, so we can precisely define line indentation. As it were, the principle is always the same when it comes to a larger amount of text. Let's see how to work with tabs when it comes to creating content or menus. As in the previous examples, select the text and select the tabs option. Here we see all the tabs that were automatically added. We can remove them either one by one, or simply click on Remove All. Then we can add a tab. Let's say the alignment is to the right. We can put the tab location, for example 130, later, of course, we can move it to the desired position. We're going to add the points, by choosing Leader Options, click OK. Click OK here. And here's a tab that we can just drag where we want. Place the cursor at the end of the line, press Tab on the keyboard and enter the value. If the dots do not appear, we can fix that very easily. We select the text again, go to the text drop-down menu, we click on Tabs, and here we will see that our leader is actually turned off. We click and select the On option. Click OK, and our dots appeared. Let's see how we can arrange text in Affinity. Same principle, same text. Text is located within frame text. We select the entire text, in the window drop-down menu, select Text, and select Paragraph. As you can see, we immediately have options for indenting the lines, that is, arranging the text, so here we have, for example, the first line event. We enter a value, and all the first lines of all paragraphs are indented by the value we entered. We will include the ruler by, when the text is selected, on this toolbar we find the option Frame Text Ruler, and of course we got a ruler with tabs that we can use. I would say that in Affinity, using this ruler is the easiest so far and the most transparent. Okay, let's see now how we can do the enumeration as in the previous examples. So, we select the text, and on the Paragraph tab we have the Tab Stops option. We will turn it on, and then we will click somewhere on the ruler and you will see that a new tab has appeared. Here we can specify that the text is aligned on the right side, of course we will choose right. Tab Stop is 150 but we can move it to 160, the value will show here. We select the glyph, in the form of a point, and when we press Tab, we enter some value. As you can see, we got the same thing as in the previous examples, right alignment. When we select the entire text, with the help of this tab that we added, we can simply position the right side of the text wherever we want. Affinity also has advanced typography editing options. If you turn on the typography option, and click on Typography. Here on the left you'll see a bunch of text editing options. For basic work and understanding how to work with a larger amount of text, what we have learned so far is enough. So the bottom line is that instead of indenting lines, typing by pressing the space key on the keyboard and listing items, using a dot on the keyboard, this is a much easier and clearer method of working. I hope you found this interesting, and see you in the next video.